make these things longer.
That's right. Yeah, I can't. One time I just went running and then I just got pulled back.
Oh my Lord, so many times.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Live right now on the Metal Voice. Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Jazz hands.
He's back.
The Squire of Saskatoon himself.
Hey, well, no, I'm in Regina. Come on now, come on. There's two different places.
The region
Come on.
of
We may as
Regina.
well be Saskatoon. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
Oh, you're
I'm
in
gonna get
trouble now.
I'm in trouble. I'm sorry. No.
Mr. Stu Block himself.
Mr. Stu Block.
How
I'm the
are
only
ya?
one wearing the Annihilator shirt. And you got
I was gonna wear mine, but I thought that would,
the Teen Wolf.
thought
You
that
got
would
the
be-
Teen Wolf.
but you got it. So here's the thing. I was gonna wear my Annihilator shirt, but I'm like, you know what? I felt your vibe, and I knew you were gonna wear it anyway. So, but I know that Jeff always wears horror movie shirts. So I was like, okay, let's go a little horror. Let's show some homage to some personal tastes of his, of course, right? We share that. We love horror movies. I have stacks of them behind me here, tons. That was the wonderful thing, not the wonderful thing. It could have been a curse, but we were talking about earlier, when on tour, you collect things. You collect all these things, and if you go to a festival, you go to the metal market, you spend way too much. You buy a bunch of stuff. It's like, what have I done? You got to buy the whole other bag to get home, right? So, so again, when you're on the bus, you got to watch movies. And back when I was touring, it wasn't all MP3 or whatever, or like digital or anything like that. So it was basically get hard copies of everything. So we had we would collect CDs and actual hard DVDs. So I remember going to you're in New York, right? And you go to the side guy that's selling the bootlegs, right? And you just buy, you come home with all these bootlegs. And
Gotta bring my iPod, guys. Gotta bring my iPod.
No, exactly, right? I got my booklet with me, like we're flipping through the booklet. Remember that? So, DVDs were big. I would come home with stacks and stacks of horror DVDs and anything I could find either at Walmart or if I was in like a certain town that had like a really cool, certain towns like Vegas has there's a few spots you can hit that are specifically for horror movies. And so we'd okay, we're going there. We're going to go grab a bunch of movies and we're set for a few more, for a couple of weeks here. So, so it's one of those things. So, yeah, we accumulate as we're on the road for sure. I miss those hard copies, I miss them. I miss having that. I just miss owning that, now it's all okay, now I got to own an NFT. So that's how I own that. So, so I don't know what's going on now
There's
anymore.
something about owning air versus owning something you could physically touch, right?
Man, opening up that cellophane and trying to get that sticker off to open up the DVD
that sticker on the CDs. Remember the CDs? You're trying to peel off that sticker. It's like, what's up with that sticker?
I don't want to scratch this. Yeah. So, but it was the whole let's get into it, right? So it was like Christmas all the time. Cool. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Doing good.
All right.
Trick is you got when you go on anywhere on vacation, you always bring one empty bag.
Yeah, I know. I learned that lesson. I know. Yeah, I know. But now they charge so much for the extras and all that kind of stuff. I could only imagine now how it is. Back in the day, we could get away with it. But it's super expensive. But anyway, that's how it is. That's life.
Well, let's get into it. Now, I wore my only Canadian concert shirt that I have, Anvil, and I was going to ask you for an Into Eternity shirt, but wait a minute. Should I be asking you for an Annihilator shirt now?
All right, I should go do a T-shirt change, I guess, now, right?
No, it's all
do an outfit change.
All
right. Am I acceptable? I'm acceptable. Werewolves.
Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman.
Jack Nicholson.
I'm trying to think of my favorite werewolf movie. I've never been a big werewolf guy.
I love them. I mean, I like all the, there was some, well, of course there was the Howling, right? Which were some of the best transformation, really graphic transformation from human to werewolf. So it was really quite graphic. So I was that's why I connected to a lot of those different ones, because I just love the FX aspect of it, and what they had to do back in the day with nothing and make it happen, a bunch of corn syrup and some, okay, shave your head, we need more hair, kind of thing.
I like the shots, first is a little bit, and then there's a little more, and then there's a little more.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's wow.
Ozzy Osbourne barking the moon. That's werewolf.
Okay. All right. You got us all.
Let's start off with Metal 2, and then we're going to talk
2.
about, and I prepped Stu on this, we're going to talk about who's going to replace Iron Maiden, who's going to replace Judas Priest, who's going to replace Metallica, who?
I know. It seems like a big debate on your website. Yeah, seems like a big debate.
It's a big debate, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's start off with Metal. Not 1, 2.
No. Number two. Super stoked to do it, man. It was awesome. When I got the call from Jeff, like, you guys, I mean, probably you don't know, but Jeff and I, we've been in contact for quite a while before that. And we did the 70,000 tons of metal together. Did the All-Star Jam, and that was so fun. And we've met each other at festivals, and he's mentioned me in interviews, and I've mentioned him, and so it's just kind of like this kind of thing that I think that we've always kind of wanted to do, and just work with each other. So perfect opportunity. He had this idea to do a reimagination. It was hilarious. Jeff's like a really quirky guy. You know what I mean? Like he's Jeff. They broke the mold. He's a fingerprint. He is like, and now he's in the UK. So it's like he's started to slightly take on this UK tinge to his Canadian accent. So he's like far more proper Canadian than it should be, but it's all good. So no, it's amazing seeing what he's doing out there. He's doing some awesome stuff, and he's a workaholic. So he has all these ideas, right, guys? So he's got all these ideas. So he's like, he messages me and he goes, "Hey man, I want to pitch an idea to you. I think it might be a good time. Let's get together and talk." So we talked, and it was awesome. He said, "I want to reimagine Metal 2. It's got a bunch of great guests on it and stuff like that. And I love Dave's voice, and Dave's awesome, but it's just this thing that I could feel like I could take this record and just kind of do something else with it, right? So there's a lot of versatility with it and all that kind of stuff." So I'm like, "Yeah, man, that would be super cool." So we talked about it, and he was like, "But here's the catch. Here's the catch. Of course, there's always a catch, right? There's a catch with everything. Nothing's easy." So he's like, "You only get 3 takes, like you only get, so I want this feel to be like this jam, kind of off the cuff feel. Of course, think about the parts and all that kind of stuff." And I already knew the album, and it's an awesome album. And so I was diving into it, and so he's like, "So make it your own, but you get 3 takes. That's all you get. That's all you get. You get 3 takes. That's all." So I get 3 takes per song, per chorus, whatever, per line. That's it. He picks the best one, go to go. So and not a lot of doubling, like there's some harmony work and stuff like that, but he had a lot of other stuff to work with from the original album as well. So he, like, my main vocal is rooted in the main vocals, and then Angela pops in there, like, so he's like, "Well, don't do the death vocals because Angela's there." You know what I mean? So like, we're all good. So just pick the roots, and there's a little bit of harmony work and stuff like that. We're going to do a little bit of doubling, but it's really just 3 takes, rock and roll. He wanted it to have this like jam feel of people just getting together. And with Dave's drumming, it just really gives it that extra feel as well, because Dave's such he's so amazing at what he does. It's like you feel like he's creating these pieces of magic off the spot. You know what I mean? And it's really, that's just how he works. That's just how he is. Like he's just, he's
Dave Lombardo.
Dave Lombardo, yeah.
So
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, Dave Lombardo. Yeah, when he's doing his drumming, he's the guy just creates magic everywhere, and it's so it's like, and so that's Jeff. Jeff knows. Hey, if you pair these people, like he's an analytical mind as well. You can tell he's analyzed this. He knows who he wants to work with, and he knows what he wants. So anyway, blah blah blah. You get 3 takes, do rock and roll. Here's the songs. Let's do it. So we did it. It was an amazing journey for me. Vocally, because I got to really unleash myself a little bit. I got to really explore a lot of actually different vocals that I haven't really approached before. It was like, dude, like, what's with the Anselmo thing? Like, what's with that? But I'm like, hey man, that's the feel I got from it. That's what I got from it, and I'm a big fan, and I love that shit, and I'm gonna do it. And it's I think obviously it doesn't exactly sound like him, but there's a feel there. There's that feel, right? So it was an influence, and I'm that kind of guy. I'm that kind of singer. Like if I feel it and I have an influence in mind, I put my own spin on it and I make it work for myself and for others around me as well. And I think most people were like, dude, that's really cool, but it's just very shocking, right? They're just like, whoa, what's going on with this? And then you hear like songs like Kicked, and then you hear Couple Suicide, and then you hear all of them are, I'm really trying to show kind of what I can do and try to just have a lot of fun with it. And that's where it came out. It wasn't a lot of, and like, I wasn't overthinking anything. I was obviously thinking about stuff, and I was thinking about how I want to approach things, but I also didn't want to overthinking it as well, because, you know, Jeff was like, you know, you got 3 takes. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to overthink. If it's going to be 3 takes, it's going to be, if I'm working with Mr. Lombardo and you know, I know that there's going to be on the spot magic there. And it was amazing because I was getting the tracks after Dave had done his parts. So I was like, oh, I can work with that. You know what I mean? Work with that extra awesome stuff that's going on. So it was really fun. Got to showcase a lot of different kind of vocals and have a lot of fun with it. And it was super wicked working with Jeff. And then he was like, okay, well, you want to do some live stuff too? And so I'm just like, yeah, well, of course, man, of course, you know. And so hopefully in the near future, we're going to do some live stuff together and just have a lot of fun. And it's all about just, I had a blast with him when I was doing the jam. When I was on stage with him, I felt that guy's presence and I felt his energy, and I felt that there was something going on there. And I was just really connected in that way. And I just thought, man, that'd be pretty cool to do like a little fun thing with him, a few things live and just have a blast and give some people the classics. And I think it'd be fun. Absolutely.
So to keep with the horror theme, Lon Chaney was known as the man of 1,000 faces. You're well, this album, like the Stu Block, yet again, the man with 1,000 voices, right?
Well, yeah.
So it was completely up to you, or anybody suggest the style to sing, or is it 3 takes, do what you want, and that's it?
Right. So this was something like, I think Jeff recently did an interview, and part of the interview was like, you know, Steph, you know, or Stu, he messaged me and he was like, what kind of vocal should I use for this song? And what should I be doing? What, you know, like all that kind of stuff. And I'm just trying to do my best Jeff impression.
British Canadian. I like that. You were very,
thank you. All right. So you know, he just told me, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do what comes naturally.
3 takes, don't overthink it. 3 takes.
Exactly. You know, it's almost like, let me.
But I screwed up the first one, 2 left. But I screwed up the second one, 1 left.
1.
That's all you got.
Okay, well, can we take half of that one? I got a 0.5.
No, 1.
No, only one. So he was very, very awesome about it. He was very encouraging, and he was just like, yo, I hired you for a reason. I hired you because you can do a multitude of different things, and that's fine. If you want to go that route, that's awesome. But whatever you want to do, and the main thing is just don't overthink it. You got 3 takes, and just do what you need to do. So I was like, okay, Jeff, no problem. So I went ahead and did it, and every time I sent him a song, honestly, out of all the songs that I sent him, he really only wanted me to redo like a couple of 3, maybe 4 things, like small things. That was it. So he was quite satisfied with the things that most of the takes that I was sending him. And he was like, okay, I can piece all this together and it's going to be great. And I was like, are you sure, Jeff? Like, my palms are sweating right now. Are you sure? Like, so, and I'm over analytical too, sometimes after the fact, because I'm like, when do you get the paintbrush to leave the canvas? Right. So, so that's kind of the artist's bane. And so,
Stu,
yeah, so it was really cool.
And
he was just like,
no,
Stu,
this bottom line is, did you like,
I absolutely
officially
had a great time.
No, did you officially join Annihilator?
Did I officially join Annihilator?
So look, you officially joined the band.
I'm officially singing for Jeff whenever he wants me to sing for the band live. That's the official aspect. As far as how like new recordings and all that kind of stuff, I can't comment on that because he's got his own vision for that and all that kind of stuff. I could say perhaps like if there was ever within the realms of possibilities of he's like, hey, I want to do a new Annihilator record. I don't know if that's ever going to happen or what. I can't comment on that. But if he did, I would definitely say I would love to be a part of it.
Okay.
So
the door is open.
The door is. I'm assuming the door is open, but definitely Jeff maybe like
it's open for you. You're saying the door is open for you.
Maybe
be locked for
right?
for Jeff. You might lock it.
Right.
For you, it's open.
So
there's two doors.
There's two doors. There's always right. There's always that.
Your door, his door.
Jeepers.
It's kind of like when you're in a hotel room with those adjacent those doors there.
Mm-hmm.
There's two.
Absolutely.
Because you may not want the other guy to come in. Even though
I'm not going to. Well, I'm not going to go down to the hotel lobby and say that I've locked my key in the other door and get a key and try to get in. I'm not going to do that. I'm not ever going to do that. That would be creepy. But anyway, no, I think we really enjoy each other's company. We had a great time working with each other. He's working on he's got a bunch of other things he's working on. We have another thing we want to work on, and then along with the live thing. So it's not going to be the last time we're working together in recordings. I can tell you that for sure. So as well as far as if it's Annihilator or a different thing or whatever, who knows? I would love to do another Annihilator thing with him, but I can't speak on that. So,
so obviously Annihilator is Jeff's baby.
Absolutely.
You know, like Ice Earth was John Schaefer's baby. Is there any similarities between these two fellows? Because these guys have a vision. They know where they want to go with their music. Would you see any similarities between the two?
They're very driven. They're very driven people. Very work oriented and driven people, and they have a vision for what they want their band to be, and it's very clear and concise, and so that's definitely a common denominator. Absolutely. And I think that speaks for anybody that's in a band that's quite successful. You usually see the one guy or the one girl or the team that is the driving force that makes things happen, that make the as it were the dream happen. So but that's definitely a common denominator, driven artists that have a vision and they're sticking to it. So,
and the back end of that question, what are some of the main musical differences between the two?
I think, obviously, like the sound is very different. Obviously, musically, the sound is different, and I'm sure Jeff might approach recording differently. He might approach writing differently. Yeah. So, maybe. And of course he might record differently, but I think everyone has their fingerprint for their band, and I think there's always going to be those subtle differences for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about anything else that you're working on? Okay, you're working on your Into Eternity, right? How's that coming along?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going great. We're doing a local. We're gonna kind of like knock the dust off and break the ice a little bit, doing a local show March 26th in Regina, at the Exchange, with two amazing bands, Culebra and Flashback. So we're looking forward to really sharing the stage again with that lineup and having a great time. So that's going to happen. And then we got offered to do Hyperspace in Vancouver. So we're going to be headlining day 3 on Sunday, hoping that I'm going to be able to hang out with my friends in Witherfall, be able to see Joseph and Jake again. Really looking forward to seeing Jake. I haven't seen him in a long time, so that's going to be really fun. And he's going to be his crazy old wine drinking self. So I'm really looking forward to playing that festival, being in Vancouver again. I haven't been in a while, haven't played a show there in a while. So I have a lot of deep-seated roots in Vancouver. That's where I kind of got my start, so it's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. So
Wasted Beach, right?
What's that?
Wasted Beach in Vancouver.
Yeah, man. Yes. Not Wreck Beach. No, not Wreck Beach.
Okay.
That's the nude one. And I've stumbled onto that one drunk before, and I've never seen so many shriveled up penises in my life. So anyway,
there's a visual for Blabbermouth.
There you go. Stu Block says.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Who chose the two covers? First of all, Alan Johnson and Dan Beeler, right? Heavy Metal Maniac. That was their song back in the day.
That was an honor. But
you know what? Just to preface this, okay? The original album was released in 2007, and I think Heavy Metal Maniac or Romeo Delight by Van Halen was a bonus tracks. But this time around, I think they become part of the track list. I could be wrong.
Right.
I could be wrong about that. I don't know, Stu, if you have any, if you know, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to get the fact checkers on that. I cannot confirm nor deny on that. So
nobody knows.
We'll have to get the fact check. Nobody knows. So I'm sure you'll find out in the comments
both
super quick.
Of those covers were already recorded by Annihilator, yes, but were they bonus tracks?
Please let us know.
Please let us know because we don't know.
So Dan Beeler,
yeah,
is there any backing vocals on that track with you from Dan Beeler? Or
yeah, he's featured on that track as well. So yeah, I know, and like I said, it's an honor to do that one and kind of do my take on it, and that was super fun to do. That was super fun.
Dan Beeler's in the background, right?
That was one of the, yeah. That was the one where Jeff sent it back. That was one. So that was a Jeff send back. So I did the vocals for it, and I did it straight up like Painkiller Ripper, like wow, like I was like just giving it balls to the wall. And he was like, "Yeah, too much. Let's bring it down a bit.
Let's go with 4, please."
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go with 4.
Let's bring one more in there.
You got it. So he was very gracious. Thank you, and thank you, Jeff. Very gracious man.
Romeo's Delight. I mean, Dave has his own style, right? And it's hard to do a Van Halen cover. But you did a great job on it.
Thanks, man. No, I got to be honest. I'm a fan of Van Halen, but I've never been like this uber fan that could like nail off all the list everything, talk about everything, their history and all that kind of stuff. But they are icons, man. And it was fun to do kind of my take on it, and I was kind of doing something different, this hazy vocal with my voice and trying to kind of do that, the double scream thing and all that kind of stuff. And that was fun. I mean, no one's going to do it totally justice. I mean, Russell Allen, he did a cover of Romeo Delight, and that's fire. Like that's pure.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
Dave might not be the greatest technical singer, but the character and the tone of his voice,
is great.
You just
absolutely
can't beat that, right?
So Dave is an amazing vocalist, and his commercial rock voice is really amazing. And I know he does a lot of stuff in Vancouver. I think he does a lot of cover stuff and a lot of, I don't know if he's doing originals or he's in Third Ion, which is
so we're talking about Dave Padden, right? Dave Padden.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Dave Padden was the original vocalist on the first Metal One album. I'm just gonna so people who don't know, I'm just like throwing it out there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then Jeff Waters became the vocalist. Then Stu Block became the vocalist. We think. We're not sure.
Two doors.
Door 1 is open.
He's knocking on the door.
So, we don't know if the other door is getting unlocked anytime soon. So
we don't know.
We'll see. No, Dave Padden is a killer vocalist. If you're in Vancouver and you have a chance to check him out, check him out. I think he plays at the Roxy a lot and stuff like that. So he's very, very good, very talented.
All right, here's this John saying, I just ordered Metal 2 CD and can't wait to listen to it. I have no idea until an hour ago that Stu Block did the vocals. He's easily one of my favorite lead singers ever. Look at that.
Oh, well, thank you for the PayPal. So I'm going to send you the money pretty quick here. Thanks, man. I've got some people planted in there. So I've got to.
It's okay. It's all good.
Cool.
K-Man says that Heavy Metal Maniac was a Japanese bonus track on the original Metal album. I knew there was one of them that was not. But because it's such a great song, I'm sure Jeff Waters says, you know what, we got to put that on the album itself.
It is an amazing song. Yeah.
Lips, who was just recently on our on the show, Alan, what was it, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? I don't remember.
I love that man. He is amazing. He probably doesn't even know who the hell I am, but that man is
we asked
awesome.
him, Lips. We go, Lips, are you on Metal 2? He goes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I love about that guy.
I don't know. So I go, you don't know? He goes, no, man. I don't know. I just did the original one, and I don't know. So he doesn't know.
Hey, well, it's all good. It's all good, Lips. You're a legend, so just do you.
But did they preserve his guitar solo? I think they did they not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's great solo, man.
Sounds
and that's
like
an Army of One. Army of One. Incredible.
That solo is on point.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what we're saying. Nobody talks about Lips when it comes to great guitar players. You know, some of the solos he pulls off, you just rips the top of your head off. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, no, it is a literal fingerprint for him, his soloing for sure. Like he's just got his style and he's got the way to just kind of rip your face into two when it happens, man. It's just, whoa. That I say it's like, not like skill level, but it's like up there with like the Kerry King just ripping your face off kind of thing, or the, not that style, but just the vibe you get and the how you feel when he does do a solo for sure. And it's very underrated. Absolutely.
Yeah. Darcy's saying, do you have a favorite song you did on Metal 2? I personally love Haunted.
Oh, well, I love that song too. I never ever pick a favorite. But geez. I know, right? I know, but I know I have to do it. I have to do it because I'm forced to.
Oh, look.
Which one was the most challenging for you, let's say?
I would have to say, I honestly, I would have to say, the cover Romeo Delight, because I had a lot of pressure because I know he's such a huge fan. So it was like, I left it to like the very end. I was just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm just like, okay, just be me. And I didn't want to pester him too much because he was already, I think he was sick at the time and he was dealing with a bunch of bullshit. And so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to get into character. Stu, calm down, get into character. You know, you're going to do a good job. I looked in the mirror and I was just like, you're good enough. You're smart enough.
Oh,
no,
wow, man.
You're going
to. And then you got to do your best, David Lee Roth.
Like you.
Oh, wow, man.
And everybody likes you.
Man. All right. Also, we have to say that it was mixed by a legendary engineer, Mike Frazier, who did AC/DC and Van Halen.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
that was an honor to be.
And what I did is I took the original one, and then I played each song one for one, right? I was listening to them in a different order, and there's one or two songs that are missing and added. So, and you could see that it's more prominent, the sound. It's bigger, and you know you're hitting harder with your vocals, and the drumming is a little more technical, even though it's great. So I don't know. I was never a big fan of the first Metal album. By Annihilator. I never really dove into it, but knowing that you're there and Dave Lombardo's there, it made me want to like check it out, and I enjoyed it. It was really cool.
I appreciate that. You know, hey man, it's not everybody's cup of tea, just like anything anybody does, right? So that's how this works. So here's the awesome thing.
I'm just saying that is because you guys participated, that it made me visit that album and like it. You know, saying, you know what, this is a really good album. There's some good songs here.
Absolutely. No, and like I said, I appreciate that, and if that's what drew you in, awesome, and if that's what drew other fans in or other people in to listen to the album, of course Dave's going to draw in a bunch of people that probably have never even heard of Annihilator. You know what I mean? So
is he going to be playing live too? I forgot to ask you that. Is he going to be playing live?
I don't know. I have no comment on that. I have no idea. That man is very busy, so he's got a lot of things going on. So cannot comment on that, but that would be amazing.
Those are two doors that are closed.
Yeah, right.
Two locked doors. You're not getting through. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. That's I'm used to it.
That's my thing.
It's fine. That's fine. It's all good. No, what I was going to say was, for people that perhaps maybe weren't into this new reimagination or the re-record of this, the great thing about doing this is that there's two of them, so you can always listen to the original, right? So that's the awesome thing. So there's always something for everybody within the catalog, and that's what Jeff has. You know, like that his catalog is very extensive, and he does very much have everything. If you can't find something in Annihilator to like, then I'm sorry, you're lost. Like that's if you're a metalhead and you can't find something, then I good luck to you. So that's it.
You're right. Where do I want to go next? Alan, do you have another question on the album?
No, it's fine.
Okay, guys, I'm going to play you the new Metal Voice intro, and then we're going to get into the bands. You ready for this? I don't know if you guys can both see this. You guys ready? Alan's never even heard this. So this song is the new Metal Voice intro. It's about 10 seconds.
Ooh.
Thomas Melger, from Germany, Thomas Rocket, and Giles Lavery, my friend, okay, who sings here. This is the new Metal Voice. I'm going to put it on the screen. And you ready for this? And then you can rate it. You can rate it.
Can I rate it?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, from closed door to open door.
I'm not sure. Okay, you ready? Here it goes.
Okay. I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it.
You can't hear it. Can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
So far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I love your Iron Maiden.
I've heard this before.
It's called.
You can't hear it?
It sounds so familiar, Jimmy.
Okay, tell me if you could hear it this way now. Could everybody else hear it? No. Just tell me, everybody, if you can hear that too. I got another way I could play it. Maybe you could hear it this way. Do you have your YouTube? Because you know why you can't hear it? Because you turn your YouTube volume off. That's probably why, right? Right, Alan?
Yeah.
That's why. It's not going to work.
Well,
you
get
guys
the
won't be able to hear
kickback.
it. It's okay. It's
So
all right.
what was with this? That was
We got a few
absolute.
positives coming through here.
What?
What the fuck?
Could everybody else could hear it?
That was like
Everybody else hears it.
The thing is, because we're doing the Zoom, you can't hear it. It's just the technology. It's just not there.
Zoom.
There's probably
Get
a
on
way
it.
to do it, but
Get on it. Your stock price will go up, Zoom, if you get on that. That'll work.
Let me try one more thing. You guys ready? Okay, here we go.
Absolutely not.
Oh well.
It's
It
the
sounds
same.
so familiar.
You know what? We'll
The same
abandon that
hit.
and wait for it next time. I'll figure it out. There's probably like a share with audio button somewhere, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
Yeah, we can get all techie all day. I mean, I'm here. I'm chilling with my cat right now, so we're good. Yeah.
So show us your pillow there for a second.
Oh, use Priest pillow. I used this in my bunk when I bought it. It was actually quite a good neck pillow. Painkiller.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually quite good
The
for
other
my
one
neck.
looks like Days of Purgatory or something behind you to your.
No, this is actually Leatherface in stained glass.
Oh,
Look.
Leatherface. What's
Yeah.
the other pillow look
To
like?
your
What other pillows
left.
is that?
And then the
Right.
other pillow,
We lost you.
is, oh gosh, here we go. Sorry guys, sorry, didn't mean it. That's good old Freddie.
Ah, Freddie.
Oh,
Yeah,
Freddie.
good old
Where'd you
Freddie.
get that from?
I got those. I think I bought those online or something like that. I think I just thought they were really cool, and I got sucked into buying something.
So what's that little guy there that in back of you the
guy?
medicine man.
Oh, this guy.
The mask.
I got. You know what? That mask. I don't even know where I got it. I think I got it at a garage sale or something like that.
$5.
I just thought it was $5. Cool, I'll take it. So I thought that was just kind of cool. I just thought that was really
We have
cool.
dishes flying through the
I-
house at 3:00 in the morning
It's-
ever since.
Well, someone said it was like an African war mask of some sort, where they dance with it.
Mm.
And my sister lives in Africa, and
She
so
does?
so basically I just really like to, it makes me feel like she's around too, and she sends me things from Africa that's like super cool stuff, and
Where does she live? What country?
she lives in Kenya.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
The second half of the show
Oh, here we go.
was inspired by Todd Latore.
Where's Todd?
One of
Get
our
Todd on
many
the
Where's
horn.
conversations
Todd?
with Todd.
Where's Todd?
Where's Todd?
Todd?
Where's Todd Latore? You might be
A
watching.
huge
You
fan
know,
of yours. I think you
does.
guys had some bro love happening between the two of you.
All right.
I think so. I mean, he might hate me. I don't know. I have no
he
clue.
loves you. He
No.
loves you. He loves you. You told me that. He told me he loves you.
You know, we're talking about.
No, I love him too. He's
Okay.
such a great talent. He's awesome. Yeah.
You know,
Both doors are open. Both doors are open. there.
ACC.
Go
Where's
ahead.
Todd? Where the
Where's
heck
Todd
is Todd?
Latore?
Oh,
yeah,
Yelling
where's-
Todd
We
Latore.
got a few comments probably. He usually just throws in some comments along the way.
Where are you?
You know.
But, you know,
he
we
just
were talking
pops-
about-
Go.
stadiums, you know, AC/DC or Black Sabbath, who's retired, or Guns N' Roses, if it still goes well in another 3 months, you know, who are going to replace these bands in the metal or heavy metal community, you know, in the near future? Because these guys are all getting up there in age. Unfortunately, we're losing more and more members of the metal community. And so we just thought you'd have a debate and your thoughts of who would be the next one to take over with that at that level.
At that level.
And that's important there, Alan. It's not like, hey, you know, Alan's metal band, Alan's Testament, you know, we're talking about at that level, you know what I mean?
At that level, or even the potential to hit that level within the next 5 years, kind of.
All right,
deal,
sure.
right?
5 years.
Okay.
That's what we'll say.
So we can, because we've got like, we're gonna lose a lot within the next decade. We're gonna, like, it's just good. There's gonna be a huge hit for music and heavy metal. People just
one of us might not be around next year.
We don't know that. We don't know. Yeah,
not
exactly.
To sound morbid.
So we're just every day is a good day as long as it's above ground, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
And you can have the sun against your face. Okay, let's get all hippie and stuff. But anyway, so within 5 years, or even the potential, there's a lot. There's a lot of talent out there. As far as like when you say replace Iron Maiden, replace Judas Priest, I wouldn't say that anybody's going to sound like Bruce Dickinson again and Dickinson and or Rob Halford. I think it's going to be of that level and of what the next generation are going to be kind of more into as well, right? So it's not always exact duplicates.
That's a very good point. So it's a genre evolving.
And a genre evolving with looking at the fan base being an evolving fan base as well, right?
Over the next. Me and Alan can sort of toss it in there as guys who do a show, and you could toss it in there for a guy who's been there on the street at the festivals, you know, seeing where the audience is going at, you know, or growing.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. And I kind of try to keep my thumb on it, and you know, like a lot of like so if you're talking about, you know, I don't want to say specifically replacing a certain band, but I'm going to give you a list of bands that might be like the replacements for the AC/DCs, the Metallicas, the Iron Maidens, the Judas Priest. Those are kind of like the big ones that if we lose them, it's like, oh, whoa, like those are
what are we going to do?
Shit's changing. Shit is changing. And right, you know, Whitesnake soon, you know, you never know, like, you know, so
Aerosmith, where are you? Hello, I'm dialing Aerosmith. Hello.
Now, are holograms in this debate? Are we debating holograms?
Well, so with the changing of the fan base changes technology as well, correct?
Yes,
so
yes.
so it's what this fan base is going to be buying tickets to see, what they're interested in seeing. I think the emerging fan base is going to be a mixture of organic and tech savvy tech people. So people that are more just like, no, I want to see a real person, and a mixture of people like, I'm cool with seeing a hologram kind of thing, right? So there's and as you know, 20 years, 30 years from now, it could be, hey, it's just as cool to see a hologram as it is to see someone live. So there are emerging artists in China right now that are pure holograms. So it's and in Japan and a lot, probably other countries are doing it as well. So they're creating these artists that are
this
digitally
is very
created.
Interesting. At 1.3 billion people, if those floodgates open and they become some sort of democracy, it just could be a game changer altogether, right?
Absolutely. But I think it's going to be a mixture of. So I think so without getting too specific and talking about, I have to make an answer on hologram artists and all that kind of stuff, I think it will be part of the equation. I think it'll be part of a certain fraction of the rule. So be it a guitar player or a fake guitar player or a fake singer or whatever, there's going to be elements of that. Even so, I think it's
thought about this a lot more deeper than I thought I did.
Well, no,
I was just thinking about like Sabaton, you know.
No, and so that was one of the first. Honestly, that's hilarious you say that because without talking about holograms, without talking about all that, I think Sabaton would be the top of my list.
These are good points, Stu. These are great points.
Yeah.
You know,
so there's fractions to this. There's absolute fractions to this. But if we want to rise above all of that, and if we want to kind of distill it and let's resonate it down to a certain, let's talk about humanized bands, right? Let's talk about humanized bands, right? So as far as humanized bands, you nailed it. Sabaton, I think, is on the up and coming to be the next one that can be
All
playing.
Right. Let's pause right there.
Iron Maiden.
Let's pause right there. Sabaton, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Alan, we've interviewed them, we've seen them. When you're in Europe, and this is a big band in Europe, Sabaton, right? This is like a festival level band.
They're huge. They're getting big in North America too. Like they are starting to rise in North America as well. So, and they are great creators. They're great artists. They know what they want. Again, Joachim, what a performer. He is running around like a madman. He's athletic. I think that he encompasses a lot of what people would kind of like, oh, there's some Brucey elements there, kind of thing.
And there's some, to me. Alan said that to me.
And so absolutely. And so I think it's like elements of, like, when I went on tour with them and I got to talk with Joachim a few times, and he's such a sweet guy, and he kind of keeps to himself. He's probably just brain is going all the time, and because they're running a freaking business. And when we went out with them, shit was going right. So like, I'm sure like he's waking up at 6 a.m. and it's like, oh, I got a show to do. Okay, I got to get off the bus, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure it was probably that kind of deal, right? So, so when I got to talk with him, it was really cool, and he was super, super nice. And but he was like, that's what I do. I encompass all of my elements. I love Ed Guy. I love Iron Maiden. I love the cheesy power metal aspect, but I like the serious metal aspect, and I like to tell a story. I'm a storyteller, and I love history. And so, this is my art, and this is what I've created, and like it or not, we're here. So I loved his attitude on the situation, and again, never, he's another guy that's like super driven and really, he's got a great team.
Pause. Orlando Moshpit, to our good friend, can't stand Sabaton. I won't go see them for free.
Oh, geez.
He's a good friend of mine, Orlando. Almost ran over Alan once. So,
well,
Orlando.
So now we know we're dealing with Orlando.
Orlando, I'm sure they've heard a lot worse.
He's a good guy. He's just kidding around. He's a good guy.
I know he is. Yeah. Thank you, Orlando, for the comedy feeder.
And he, by the way, he bought metal too. And he's a big
thank you, Orlando.
Fan. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you very much. But anyway,
Todd threw it out to us. My first band that came to my head, like you, like Sabaton was at the top of your list. The one that came to my head first was Ghost.
Yeah, so that's my second.
Oh, there you go.
That's my number 2.
But,
so that's hilarious.
I just want to end off on Sabaton here, okay?
Okay.
Now, not only are they touring machines, which is sort of that,
totally.
that is the sort of the formula, we'll call it. You're touring 200 days out of the year or something like that, some crazy number, right? Hitting every corner of the earth. The writing is consistent, always new ideas, always trying to push yourself. And they're genre defining, because before them there wasn't really no war metal, we'll call it. That's
right.
There was power metal, but there was no war metal where every song. So they kind of genre defining, love them or not, doesn't make a difference. Hardworking touring guys, smart in their decisions. Mm-hmm. They have a Sabaton festival. Smart in their, and I've talked to Parr many times, and he's the business.
Parr is another.
Parr is the businessman.
Absolutely.
He knows exactly what he wants, and they are growing and growing, because Alan saw Sabaton open up for Accept, right?
And the Blood of the Nations tour, yeah.
That's right. Then it changed flipped around the other way. Now Sabaton could do theaters in Canada, right? And
right.
That's a long.
Well, whenever you have your own tank, it allows you to open up the crowds.
When you got a tank, the promoter's like, all right, I'll let you in.
So they are potentially.
You can headline, no question asked.
And legacy,
no question.
Legacy is something, a 30 to 40 year thing, right? You're building that legacy. It's
absolutely
not like 3-4 years. All right. So sorry to say all that.
So
it
yeah,
to be
Sabaton.
said.
No, I hear you, and that's absolutely well said. Very well said. Yes. So next one, yes, absolutely. Ghost was on my next one, and then my third was Greta Van Fleet.
Okay, well, go to Ghost first. Go ahead.
Let's go to Ghost. But so for Ghost, what a crazy, when I went to my first Ghost show,
Mm-hmm.
I was surrounded by everyone from a 15-year-old to a 60-year-old.
Oh,
and
wow.
and and they span because the music is accessible, it's very well written, but you get really neat theatrics with it. And I love the theater that they're doing. I love the actual script that they're writing for the progression of their character. And I think the how he writes his script is not done by a lot of people in the music scene, because he's actually building a narrative under the characters. So what he's doing is really, really cool. And not only is it cool, it's accessible music. It's like Thin Lizzy occasionally. Like there's some really cool
Blue Oyster
Cult and a whole bunch of different elements. And then the covers that he did, and he made them his own. And he again has a vision, but you can tell he loves scripting. You can tell he loves to build a narrative and to build suspense and to make his audience not know what's going to kind of happen next. And he does use a shock aspect as well, which is slightly dark and a little bit demented, but when you're singing beautiful melodies about worshiping Satan and it's just like, it's almost like you are listening to the lyrics, but you're listening, it's the melody that you're entranced with. And his rhythm is just wow.
But you know what? So he has one element that today's, not all musicians, but most singers don't have. He has a tonality. Like when you listen to him sing, he's not like this power singer, power metal singer. You know it's him. It's kind of like Klaus and Scorpions. You know it's him. Stu Block, you know it's him. There's a tone to his voice, and I think that's the key that most singers don't get today.
And that's a good connection for the fans, and that's a great connection for humans. That's what they connect to. If there's something in that tone or under the underlying theme, and it's his tone, but it's how he's built his whole vision, like the look down to how he enters into the show, and it's just really neat. It's just so well done. And I'm a horror movie guy too, and I'm a movie guy. And I love to talk movies, and I like to talk about all that kind of stuff, and I see what he's doing, and he's bringing music and art and script and building a narrative to build his to build suspense within his fan base, so they don't know kind of what he's doing next, kind of thing. So it's really neat.
I just want to add on to what Stu was saying earlier about the hologram. I think what I'm hearing from you guys as well is whoever's going to take it to that next level has to have some kind of strong visual aspect in the future. We're talking the next 5 years. That's going to be like Alice Cooper did in the 70s. I think that's where this is going to go, to take whatever band we decide or to the next level. So
absolutely agree.
Guys, I'll give you a little background. Alan wasn't there this year at Heavy Montreal, or that was a few years back when I interviewed Ghost. Alan, you missed that year.
Right.
And I interviewed Tobias, and it was just like this old school rock and roll. Like, you got to go through all the people, you got to go through his manager, and then the manager comes up to you and goes, "You got 10 minutes." There was no and he's counting, and he said,
three takes.
And then you're
three takes.
And
no doors.
And I could tell you this, Tori Amos to Voivod, that's the sort of the array, or you want to call it the landscape of his influences, right? From Tori Amos all the way to Voivod, right? For sort of like alternative extreme stuff. That's where he lies. And when you have that many sort of influences, you're going to create something special.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he knows how to put it together. It's like Volbeat. Okay. Let's talk about I don't want to talk about, they're on my list, and they're making massive waves. And I love that band. Michael is a good friend of mine. And what he did was he took all of his influences and he just put it together. And he can get heavy, but he can get Elvis-y too. And he can get Johnny Cash-y, and he can do what, he's just spans all these different...
But do you really think Volbeat is going to be sort of I could see them getting bigger, but do you really think they're gonna, like, Maiden fans are gonna say, yeah, Volbeat? Like,
No,
I've seen them,
So,
and I don't know if they could pull it off.
No, they're a thing in their own. Like, they're kind of a thing in their own.
Yeah,
you know, and they like, so that's why, you know, he's a good friend of mine, and I really understand. I've talked to him many nights, and I know, you know, he's talked to me about, we've talked about all sorts of things under the sun, but, like, you know, he's just a man with a vision, and he is creating his own world, and it's an amazing world that he's creating, and him and his team. So, but yeah, anyway, going forward, Ghost.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but I'm not trying to say anything bad about Volbeat. Don't get me wrong. No. I don't know. Like, maybe in 20 years there'll be such a massive cult following that it becomes mainstream, right? You don't know, right?
Absolutely.
You don't know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave you one more point on Ghost. What you don't see, you see very less of this. Ghost not only attracts the guys, but he attracts the women.
You got it. Yeah.
And that's key. You know, like most metal bands is like an 80 to 20, you know, 90 to 10. But he manages to sort of grab the attention of the ladies as well, which is big, because if you could grab the attention of the guys,
if you got to get to the next level,
and that's why it would be Ghost and Sabaton, because it would be like, you know, it's really kind of even, because, like, Ghost, that's an amazing point you hit, man. When you have the chicks and you have the guys, that is the perfect combination. So absolutely,
take the last couple of tours. Judas Priest here in Montreal, okay, they were closing off sections. Scorpions, okay, we're talking the same period, same era, same longevity, same career status, and because of the women, you couldn't find an empty seat in the place. It looked like it was sold out.
It's half the world.
Absolutely.
It's half the world.
Level, I agree, Jimmy. You have to have the.
I don't know the exact quote, but it's in that movie Rockstar or whatever, and he's laying on the bed getting an intravenous or whatever, and he's like, "I'll tell you one thing: as long as you got the chicks, the rest will come." And that's how it is. And so, because the guys want to be there, they want to be with the chicks, and if the chicks are enjoying it, then the guys are going to enjoy the music. And generally, if you can create music where both are genuinely enjoying it, not because just the chicks are there, but the guys are genuinely enjoying themselves as well, that's next level thing right there. That's a next level thing.
Connection. That's connection.
That's a connection.
That's a
Absolutely.
Connection. And not only everybody has that. And you could sometimes they could say you're born with that. You know, you don't know what that is. That's the X factor. And by the way, Orlando wants to know, just on a side note, who your favorite metal singer of all time is. Just on a side note.
Orlando, you're really being very difficult tonight. You're being it's very awkward, and you need to stop asking these types of questions. Much love to you. My favorite heavy metal singer of all time. I'm sorry, Orlando. I can't tell you that. I can't. I have too many to list. There's, but I can tell you one of my favorites now. He does metal as well. But one of my favorite singers right now is Dino Julesik. He is a phenomenal singer.
The White Snake guy? The White Snake guy? Is that who he is?
Yeah, that White Snake guy. Yeah. And he's doing a lot of cool stuff. He's young, he's emerging. He's got a great tone to his voice. He can do all sorts of stuff. He just did something with Michael Romeo. He did Michael Romeo's new album that he did, his self-titled, I guess it's his solo album, and sounds really cool. So he's got a lot of levels to his voice, which is really cool. So he's one of my favorites right now. But as far as an overall favorite, I can't give you that, because it would be a list way too long. And there's just so many.
That's
another show. We'll talk. You know what? That would be killer. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. I'll prepare for it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Go through all the singers and we'll wonder why.
We'll wonder why.
Well, and okay, wait a second. I want to throw one out there now. Me and Alan, we interviewed Unleash the Archers, from the West Coast of Canada.
Britney slays.
Now,
She slays.
She slays. Not Britney Spears.
No.
Britney slays.
She's killing it. She's absolutely, and she is representing Canada in such an amazing way right now. Their band is phenomenal. All of them are absolute sweethearts. They're just so nice.
They are connecting with the youth.
Oh man,
and they're connecting.
and they're young, and they're doing that. Like, I mean, they're young in comparison to me, but like, I remember when I was doing shows back in the day, I think I'm assuming, like, I think even a couple of when Unleash the Archers, when they were just starting out or like a few years old or whatever, they came out and saw a few of, like, I think Into Eternity shows and stuff like that and stuff like, so it was really, really cool because, you know, there's that support. And I always kind of kept an eye out with on them, and they over the last 5 years, they're just blowing up. And their new album, Abyss, I believe, very amazing. The vocals are phenomenal. The playing is what? And the imagination behind it is so cool. The lyrics. So I think Brittany writes all the lyrics, but I don't know. I don't know. But the way they unfold their songs are really cool. I know Arch Legion is playing in Hyperspace, and I think those are a few of the members of one or two members of Unleash the Archers. So I'll be able to kind of hopefully be able to hang out and crush a couple of pints, or maybe, you know, just hang out, and so that'll be fun. But Unleash the Archers. I love Brit. Sorry, I apologize, but yeah, Brittany is she's an amazing up and coming artist, and that band is going to do some big things. They're going to do some really cool stuff for sure.
Disappointed. Yeah, we were disappointed with the amount of hits we had. We were so looking forward to interviewing her. But again, very visual band, a lot of concept, a lot of good concepts, and rocking those stashes. I mean, the coolest mustache in all of Canada, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, I will not argue. I will not argue. Very good mustache.
But you know, to be fair to the band, like me and Alan were two old guys, right? But they're connecting with another generation that doesn't connect with us.
They're doing something. Yeah,
that voice connects with anybody, Jimmy.
It does. But they're very smart the way that they're doing business now. With, I believe they're with Maurizio from Cataclysm. They're with his management agency, Hard Impact. Okay. I believe Hard Impact. Shout out to you, Maurizio. I love you, brother. So basically, they're doing a lot of, and Maurizio is a hustler. He knows how to work the system. He knows how to work the music industry. So he's a very outspoken person, and he knows how to speak with promoters and record labels and how to negotiate. He's a very good negotiator. So I think it's a great team, and I think with the amazing talent that they have, they need a good management team, and they need someone that's pushing them, and I think the label is really pushing them as well. And and honestly, you just can't deny them.
Because
you just can't deny them.
My friend Sean Peck from the Three Tremors, you know,
Sean,
he, you know, they're trying to chug along as the 10 Tremors. You know, they're getting, you know, some sort of traction, but here comes, you know, Unleash the Archers, and he's like, what the hell's going on? Where do these people come from? Where's this next generation? How do I get a piece of this?
Right, I know.
Like,
so,
and they're Sean, connecting some way. So that means something. I don't know what it means, but in the future, that could possibly be, you know, something to build on, right?
I could dissect it a little bit. So I could give you a little bit of maybe what I think is going on. Not only are they young, not only do they appeal to a younger generation as well, they are very aware of their surroundings. They're very aware of their audience. They're very aware of the future audience that is going to be built upon their foundation. I think the other thing is that they've embraced things like Twitch. They have a few of their members that run some really like killer Twitch accounts, and their Twitch account is becoming popular. So with Twitch, they start getting new fans. Maybe fans that wouldn't have necessarily found them on Facebook or Instagram or through the regular media sites, metal media sites. They're actually exposing themselves to other fans that perhaps are really big. They love metal and stuff like that, but there's a lot of fans out there that don't subscribe to Blabbermouth. There's a lot of fans out there that don't subscribe to Metal Injection and all that kind of stuff, or they're on Facebook or they're whatever, but TikTok and Twitch are kind of shifting, right? So like things are shifting, especially for that next generation. So, and they're being smart where they're capturing, I'm pretty sure if you looked at their analytics, it's going to be a quite a young fan base, but spanning too, you know, like people of our age as well. So being able to, I think they're working their social media really well. They're starting to embrace things. I don't know if they've embraced TikTok or not yet, but I know they've embraced Twitch, and I know a few of their, not only do they have a banned Twitch
you know
account,
what she told us? She told us that they play like Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch.
That's a smart move.
So this is what we're going to do. Us three, we're going to play Battleship on Twitch.
Oh, okay,
we're going to go old school. Battleship. What do you think?
Because I only
sunk my battleship.
I think I played Dungeons and Dragons a few times. I played Risk a lot. I played Shogun. I played Shogun. Yeah, this is like the Japanese version of Risk. Basically, that's all it is.
What about Battleship?
Samurais.
Like, what are we doing with
let's play
Stratego.
No, I'm in Stratego.
Hungry Hippo.
Okay, so we got
Operation. So we'll get that out. Jenga. We'll play some Jenga.
So
you know what? Kim goes, the Metal Voice Twitch channel. So I opened one up, but I don't know what to do on it.
I don't know what the fuck. I thought they told me I need to open one up and do this.
What else are we gonna do?
I thought I was supposed to open an account in Twitch.
All right. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, but they're doing good. So whatever. Unleash the Archers. They rock. They're doing things that are awesome. Go check them out if you haven't. Blah blah blah. Brittany Slays, you rock.
So the next level.
Thanks for taking over.
The next level, you need technology. You need to be visual. You need to go on different platforms.
Yeah.
So this is what we're establishing here. I like the way this is going, right?
Absolutely.
And you've got talent, of course.
There's levels
all
to
the different social platforms. How are you going to get there? And mixed demographics.
You got it. Mixed demographics and being able to sell. I think the next level is being able to sell as a band, not only go on tour and do physical seating, but being able to sell virtual seating as well. So I think for touring and being able to be successful and getting yourself out there, for the people that can't see you, I think virtual seating is going to be a big play.
Okay. Virtual seating, you mean that they're watching a live stream from their home?
Absolutely. So they're buying a $10 ticket and then they can see the live stream over the next 48 hours kind of thing. So yeah. I think, virtual tickets are going to be the next play for sure for touring as well. Yeah.
All right.
So again, longevity. A lot of these bands we're talking about where they're going to be in 10 years, they'll be retired, like you mentioned earlier. So, there's a lot of bands that have been around 20, 30 years that are still playing the clubs. We're trying to find out who's going to take it to the next level and replace the Guns N' Roses and AC/DCs of the world. So everything we've talked about, I think another band that's on the horizon that's already there, but could take it to the next level based on everything we've discussed, the visuals and demographics. I'm going to throw out Nightwish. And I'm only thinking Nightwish because of everything we discussed here today.
And I'm a huge Floor fan. And I got to tour with her with Revamp, and she is one of the best female vocalists out there, I would say, hands down right now, like top
and
5.
She's got a whole bunch of stuff going on social media wise on her own. It's amazing. Every time I open up a platform, she's there.
I know. She's just so driven. Again, very driven, very smart, very educated. She has a good team behind her and all the talent in the world. So what more could you ask for?
Yeah. She stood beside her. She was tall, wasn't she?
She's a tall lady. I would not want to honestly, she would kick my ass. I've seen her work. So when I went out with them, my wife was out she's a fitness instructor, and my wife is like about as tall as I am, and so they were all doing fitness and stuff like that. Her and her band, and they would always be doing stuff backstage, and she is so dedicated to fitness. She's a strong woman. She is so physically strong, mentally strong, and the vocals, I'd be like, yes ma'am, anything you need. Anything you need. But she's a sweetheart, so she doesn't want people like that around her. But she's an absolute sweetheart. All things aside, she's just one of the coolest and most awesome humans I've had the pleasure of being able to tour with and be able to talk to and meet. So yeah, she's good.
Because when we met you, Stu, you're about what, 6'1"?
You got it, man. Yeah.
Okay, huge. That's because I'm 6 foot, and I remember you being slightly taller. And she walks by, and it's almost as if we're looking up to her. She probably has some heels on, but I mean, she's an opposing figure.
I'm 5'8", so everyone's big.
But no, she's just literally got it all, and she's awesome. So, and Nightwish, yes. So that is an absolute, and with that, it's accessible, right? So there's another accessibility aspect of it.
The
ladies and the guys.
Yeah, and the guys.
The ladies and the guys. So
yeah.
Yep.
I waited in line to see them. There's a huge lineup before the doors open. And you're talking about demographics. I think the females actually outnumbered the males for that show.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, it could have been where you're at, but I mean, I have to see their overall demographic. But it would definitely be. It's still the metal thing, right? So it's still sometimes it's just you're kind of stuck there. You know, I've been to a Dream Theater show. It's there's a lot more guys there than girls, and so it just depends on the band and. Just depends on the band, and it depends on who connects to it and stuff like that, but I think, hey, as long as people are coming in the door and enjoying the music, it doesn't matter who you are and what gender you are or whatever you are. But there is that thing where if there's a common denominator and there's like an equal group of people enjoying themselves together that can connect with each other, even if they're non-binary, it doesn't matter, even if they're, if they, whatever they identify as, it doesn't really matter as long as they're connecting. Mm-hmm. And as long as they are at the show. And there's a lot of bands that are doing that. They're letting all walks of life and all different people coming together. And I think that makes, again, bands really special, and that will be the emerging ones that are embracing that and embracing that the world is changing and that we have a bunch of different people out there that we need to make sure are included and that we need to make sure are there and represented. Absolutely, for sure.
Okay. So you'll take us to Greta Van Fleet now.
All right, well, enough with Greta Van Fleet.
Okay, so Greta Van Fleet, for me, when I heard Anthem of a Peaceful Army, I was pretty much like, well, I obviously there's always that Led Zeppelin, kind of comparison and stuff like that, and there are elements for sure, but I think there's a lot of other things going on there. It's not just cut and dry that way. And they're packing arenas. Now again, when we talk about Greta Van Fleet, and then we've, as we've had our conversation and as we've kind of taken in a lot of information here, I think of Greta Van Fleet as almost kind of that Volbeat feel. You know what I mean? Where they might be that band where they've just created their own kind of world. They've created that world through a familiar sound that the world is already kind of familiar with, but they're creating it in a way that is special to them. So being it, if we're going to talk about, taking over for Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, I think they're just this, again, I would probably retract and I would say, no, that's a different thing, And so if for specific fans that are looking for that sound, as far as next generation, I think people even if you're an Iron Maiden fan, you'll probably enjoy some Greta Van Fleet as well.
Look at this, okay? So Greta Van Fleet, you're getting a lot of young guys and young girls. When I mean by young, I mean like, let's say 20-year-olds, young, later teens, early 20-year-olds, and you're getting guys and girls. Now, this band continues to make music over the years. They will grow up, right, and follow the band like we followed Iron Maiden and Iced Earth and all those bands. Mm-hmm. So they're really starting at a good point. They're not appealing to the 50-year-olds like us.
Right.
They're starting with the 20s.
Sometimes they do.
They are. And when you start following a band in your 20s, it's very impressionable. Your first concert, your first album you bought.
It's a lot of firsts.
And that first that'll always be with you throughout your life. And maybe there'll be a phase where you won't like them anymore, but you'll always go back to them. It'll become retro when you're 40, right? Yeah. And they'll be selling out stadiums. I think Greta Van Fleet, they have the talent. These guys are super talented. They come from the garage. They come from the garage, man. And their father and their parents, I should just say, really grew them up on the classics. I mean, the classics, the bluesmen, the before the Stones, all the guys that they were influenced by the Stones and Led Zeppelin, those people, and that's kind of why they sound like Led Zeppelin, but it's okay to sound like somebody. And then you kind of grow out into your own, right? From that.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my theory. Airborne launched their first couple albums. They toured the crap out of them for years, but they hit that spot where that Aussie pub crawl sound that they have, AC/DC was in hiatus, okay? So they filled that groove because why? People were getting nostalgic. Now Airborne, unfortunately, we don't hear anything from them anymore, and they were the hottest band for 3 or 4 years. They toured everywhere and pumping out the albums, but AC/DC came back in that meantime with Black Ice and all their other releases since. So I agree with Stu when it comes to Greta Van Fleet because of the nostalgic aspect of their music. In 5-10 years, people are going to say, hey, I want to hear that guy that sounded like Led Zeppelin. Whereas in the early 80s, Kingdom Come was raked over the coals because they sounded like that. But it's going to come full circle where it's like, hey, this is the nostalgic. This is what I want to hear. Nobody's playing this anymore. That's where I thought this whole debate was going. It was who's going to replace these guys. Not to say that Nightwish is going to replace Iron Maiden. It's who's going to take it to that other level. And that nostalgia will come right around, and that band would be poised for sure to have that type of success.
Absolutely. And they're a band that can have the next 20 to 30 years ahead of them to do. Like they're so young. So, you know, again, when we talk about the Sabatons and the Ghosts, we have to look at age as well, right? So what longevity do they have? Do they have
and your fan base, what age your fan base is? It's very important.
Right.
Because if you're under 20, then you get that sort of Partridge Family thing going, you know, where the Sean Cassidy, where it's not cool to like them anymore, right? That's that young age, right? You don't, I don't like Sean Cassidy anymore. And you kind of, it was more like a fashion than it was a musical thing.
Demographic, you need to have, if you want to take it to that stadium level, now you're headlining stadiums. This is where we're talking about going. You've got to have the parents with their kids and sometimes even their grandchildren. You go to AC/DC concert, you probably have 3 generations there.
Absolutely.
That's why the age, that's a great point, Stu, that age would play into this because you need to get those Rush concerts.
No, you didn't say that. I said that.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Said that.
We'll have to go back.
Rewind.
No, I agree, guys. I mean, we can speculate all day, right? But at the end of the day, it's the people that make the choice. And it's really, I always say that when we put out an album or I put something out there, it's really the people that are going to make the choice if they like it or not. And I agree. I think it does need to span. And I think that there is a changing of the guard when it comes to the style of fan that's out there. We have right now that people connect with AC/DC. I think there's a lot of bands that literally just like, I hate saying it, but like they did sign that, not the deal with the devil, but there was a certain point that just made history. That was historical. These bands were just historical. Now, are we going into the other question is, are we going into an age where bands can be created that are historical? And so only time will tell.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. All right.
Yeah.
Somebody said,
just to add to that, Jim, one of the reasons why all these bands that we're talking about, the Metallicas, the AC/DCs, the Iron Maidens of the world, is because they toured the crap out to get their career to that point. That's going to definitely change in the years to come.
And that's the Sabaton, right? And that's the Greta Van Fleet.
You got it.
That's Unleash the Archers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're working that formula, right?
And absolutely, like Unleash the Archers, I would not exclude them from the list, along with Sabaton, Ghost, and Greta Van Fleet, and even Hailstorm, Arch Enemy. Let's talk Mastodon. But if all else fails, at least we have the Iron Maidens and KK's Priest.
There you go. And Judas Priest. And you know what? I'll leave with this. People don't realize that when you meet somebody you admire or some music that you admire that they've made in person, either at a show or backstage or whatever the case is, it really stays with you for a long time. Look, Stu, we're talking to you. We probably met you. You don't even remember when we met you. We met you.
Come on.
We met you like 20.
Maybe.
Alan, when was it? 2010, 2011? I don't know when the heck it was.
I definitely do not remember. Yeah.
Right? So you don't remember.
Right.
It was actually one of it was your first tour. And we were interviewing John. So you see, when people meet other people in person, even if it's for a brief moment, you'll always keep that connection. And when you see a band live, it'll always stay with you. It's one thing to see them on a screen, on a live screen. It's not the same thing.
Absolutely. And I agree, man. I think that the next generation are going to connect to these bands and they're going to have all their firsts.
Yeah,
they're going to have all their firsts.
And thanks for not even remembering me and Alan. Thank you very much on that. Okay. And we'll stay home.
Dude, busting my balls all the time. Busting my balls.
Someone's got to.
Todd, where's Todd?
Todd's recording an album.
He's doing it. Isn't he done yet? He's not done yet.
He's recording an album. He's recording the next Queensryche album. That's what he's doing. Okay. He's busy.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, and
so thanks. I mean, you brought up so many good points. Thanks again for this debate, and thanks for joining us. And all the best with whatever door you open with Annihilator.
So many doors. So many doors. So many doors. All right. Thanks, guys. Very much.
I'm tired now. I'm exhausted.
Oh, jeez.